I've been feeling lost, going hard, the same thing, like every day. Gotta go hard, but it's getting hard. No, I cannot stop. Round of applause, going hard. We made a way, said we made a way. Yeah, we made a way. Yeah, we made some play.
What's good, winners? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is James and I make travel videos. So if you're into traveling, good food, beautiful women, and real estate, hit that subscribe button now. In today's video, I'm going to share a story on how I became the #1 Airbnb in the entire state of Georgia. Now, right now, available on my website, jamesletswin.com, I wrote an ebook on how to become the #1 Airbnb in your state. Now, before it's available right now, and before you go run and try to cop the book, right, I really need you to listen to the story, because the story, in my opinion, is very inspiring. What you can learn from the story, you probably could use to start your real estate journey. And that's why I want you to just stick around to the end of the story. Maybe you can use something that you learned from the story, right? So it was 2020. I received a letter from the IRS, and this letter stated, you've been audited, please give us a call. So I'm like, oh shit, here we go, to IRS. So I gave him a call, and when I spoke to the lady, I said, you know, I just received this letter in the mail that I was audited. You know, my name is James Allen, and this and this and that. And she said, yes, Mr. Allen, you've been audited. I said, well, how much I owe? And she said, we don't have a price of what you owe. And I said, why not? She said, you have to come down and we have to, you know, we have to talk to you. So I'm thinking to myself, when they say I have to come down to the IRS, I'm like, yo, they're about to Wesley Snipes me. I'm getting locked up. But I was thinking to myself, I wasn't doing no bullshit on my taxes to a point where, you know, I should be in any trouble. I was doing like legal shit. So she said, listen, you have 1 month. You have to get all your receipts together or your paperwork together for this, you know, for this audit. And you have to come down to the office. So what I did was I got all my paperwork together. I got all my receipts together, which was a mess, right? This whole month, I'm nervous as shit because I'm thinking like, yo, why do they, like, why? This is what I wanted. I wanted the IRS to give me a call and say, yo, you owe this amount. And I say, okay, let me pay you that amount. But no, they said, come down. So I got my stuff together and I went to the office and I sat down and we start going through my my taxes. And she said, the red flag was you claim that you lost $100,000 and you only made $55,000. And I said, okay. And she said, yes, explain. And I said, well, the reason why, and look, I'm not a tax professional. I never did my taxes. I had someone else do my taxes because I know the guys in the YouTube world and in the comment section, they know it all. So if you want to correct me, but this, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to explain it to you how she explained it to me. So I told her that I claimed a loss of the $100,000 and I only make $55,000 because I purchased this property and I was doing like a depreciation, and then I opened a barbershop as well, and I was writing off things from the barbershop, right? So she said, do you have a receipt for that, or, you know, the deed for your home? And I said, yes, I have everything. And I had everything that she needed. She said, oh, okay, I see. Okay, that's good. So she said, the good thing is that, you know, you're not in no trouble. You're not doing nothing illegal, right? She said, the bad thing is that your taxes is being done wrong. And I said, well, explain. She said, you don't claim a depreciation of $100,000 just in one shot. You have to do it over a course of 4 years or something like that. So if it's $100,000, you were supposed to $25,000 each year until that's satisfied, right off $25,000. Now, if I'm wrong, this is how she was explaining to me, and this is how I understood it. So she said, okay, no problem, but let's just go through everything else. So we going through all my taxes, and when it was all said and done, she said, you owe $21,000 in taxes.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
I'm like, shit. Now, I'm not really stressed out because I have $30,000 in the bank. Now, I didn't want to pay IRS $21,000, but I did have the money to pay them, right? So now I said, you know what? Can I get on a payment plan? And she said, yes, you can get on a payment plan. I said, how does $500 a month sound? And we worked out a payment. I worked out a payment plan online with the IRS. So I have to pay this $500 a month. So my sister happened to call me, and my sister is my mentor. That same week, she called me, and I was telling her the situation, but she just started talking to me about another real estate, venture that she was gonna get into. She said, "Yo, you know what I'm thinking about? We have long-term rentals. She have long-term rentals, and I have long-term rentals at the time. But she said, I want to get into short-term rentals like Airbnb." And I said, oh yeah? So she explaining to me how Airbnb worked. Now at this time, this is only 2020. At this time, I don't know nothing about Airbnb. I know about Airbnb, but I don't have an Airbnb. I just do long-term rentals at this time. So she was telling me how it worked. She's telling me how lucrative it is. And I said, okay, this is something that I want to get into. This is something that I may want to get into after she explained it to me. And I said, okay. So I'm still thinking now. I have $30,000 in the bank, and I owe the IRS $21,000. I didn't want to give the IRS my $21,000 because I would have just been left with $9,000. Now, anytime my bank account fall below $10,000, I get nervous. I start getting anxiety. And the reason why is because I own property. And if you know anything about owning property, anything can happen where something major like a furnace or, the HVAC system is shot, or something happened with the roof, and you need $10,000 to repair this, and so you need money in reserve. So I was like, I'm just getting a little nervous. I'm like, nah, I don't want to give the IRS the $21,000. So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna do an Airbnb because I have a payment plan of $500, and all I needed to do was satisfy that $500 every month until it's paid off. But I wanted to use an investment to pay that off. So my thought process was, which one of my tenants I'm going to kick out to do Airbnb, right? And then I was thinking, I was like, no, I have good tenants. I had this tenant for 5 years. I had this tenant for 7 years. I said, I'm not kicking out my tenants. I said, I'm going to do it at my home. I said, okay. So I sat down and talked to my wife, my ex-wife now, and I said, listen, I want to do an Airbnb at our home, right? Now, not inside our home, but in a garage area. I wanted to convert my garage into an Airbnb and rent it, as an Airbnb. So she said, that's a good idea, but I don't know about that because I'm gonna feel uncomfortable with people coming into the home. Like, this is where we live. And I said, yeah, I understand that, but I'm just thinking of different ways to make money. We are in this house now. My 2 other daughters moved out, right? So now I just have my youngest daughter in the house. It's me, my wife, and my youngest daughter. We in this house, 3,500 square feet, 3,600 square feet. Big, beautiful house with a pool in the back. So I'm like, yo, listen, we don't even live in our entire house. Let's do this so we can make some money, and then I can pay off the IRS. But I told my wife, I said, listen, we're not going to rent this Airbnb space for a long time. I just need $500 a month. So we rent the Airbnb for $500. Well, not for $500 a month. We rent the Airbnb until I get the $500. So whatever, I rent a week, I get $500. Then I shut it down, and now that's just our living area. So she said, okay, that's a good idea, right? So I said, now we have very little guests coming here. I don't have to worry about the bill with the IRS. I could just pay them off, and we good. So we agreed to that. Now I'm thinking the two car garage, my 2-car garage is big enough space for an Airbnb. So a studio is big enough for a studio, so it can have a kitchen, a bathroom, and a living room / sleep area. But I wanted it to be a 1-bedroom. I wanted it to be a little bigger. So what I did was, I wanted to break from the wall in the garage. I wanted to break inside the house and use our dining room, right? So I knew how much my wife loved her dining room. So now and again, I had to go have this hard conversation with my wife. I said, listen, I understand I told you that I wanted to do the Airbnb in the garage, but I want to break open this wall and close this off and take away this dining room. Now, let me just explain to you. I don't know if when you was a kid, you ever was a kid and you had a aunt or grandmother that had a room that you couldn't go into. Our dining room was like that. It was a nice, pretty, expensive white table, white chairs. I think 2 times in 15 years, 13 years, we sat down. One Thanksgiving, we had a big Thanksgiving at our house. That was the only time that we sat there. We all eat in the breakfast nook. So we really didn't need that area to eat in, because we had an eating area already. So she's looking at me like I'm crazy. Nah, I'm not giving up my dining room. Forget about it. I told you, you can use the garage, and you can do whatever you want in the garage, but my dining room is a no-go. So me talking to her for a week, and I'm like, yo, listen, we need that in order to do this the right way. We need that. So she finally agreed with me, and I called my brother, and this is my brother-in-law, but I call him my brother. I respect him as a person. My brother Lee, this was my sister's ex-husband, and I said, listen, I have a project I want to do at my home. I need you to come down and let me know if this is something that you can do. I have a $20,000 budget, and this is what I want to do. So he came down and he looked at the space. And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to take this two-car garage. I want to put a bathroom right here. I want to put a living room right here. I want to put the kitchen right here. And then I want to break in this wall. So now from the garage to our dining room inside our home, it's a load-bearing wall. So I said, listen, this is a load-bearing wall. Is it possible to break into this wall, reinforce the wall, and then have an opening here, have a door here? He said, no problem. It's a piece of cake. I said, okay. Because, people be acting like load-bearing walls, oh my God, you can't touch them. But no, if you reinforce it and do what you have to do to stabilize everything, and then you're good. The structure is good. So he said, okay, let me get back to you with the numbers, right? He looked, and the hardest part of this all, right? The hardest part was the bathroom, right? Tapping into the plumbing and, going into the floor and tapping into the plumbing. So he gave me a call like 3 days later, and he said, your total, I did the total on everything from beginning to end. Your total will be $22,000, right? That's my payment. That's the supplies. That's the everything. And I said, all right, let's do it, right? And he started to work. Now, let me tell you, I saw this shit come together, man. I never saw nobody, right, that worked as good as him. I put my money against him doing contracting work with anything. So you know how usually you call a contractor, you have to call the plumber, you have to call the electrician, you have to call the HVAC guy. This guy is a master at everything he do. When I mean a master, he's a master at everything he do. So so it's my brother, it's my two nephews. My nephews at the time, they was probably 17 and 11 or something like that. So every day they at my house working on this project, and I see, you know, slowly but surely the bathroom coming together and the living space coming together, and him break down a wall to my home. He cut an exterior door on the side of my home, made the exterior door. Everything was coming together beautiful. When I mean beautiful, right? So now we have a complete unit. I brought furniture, bed, I have everything, towels. Now I'm ready to go live. I want to say this took like 3 months, 3 to 4 months, right? He completed everything. And it was just him and my nephews. This is, you know, my brother and my nephews. So now I have this complete place and I'm ready to go on Airbnb. So I make the listing for Airbnb. And in June of 2020, I go live at 11:30 at night, right? This is my first time. I don't know nothing about Airbnb. This is my first time going live on Airbnb. And after, I don't know, 3 to 4 minutes of going live, I got my first booking, right? And I had it on instant booking, and I got my first booking. Wait, hold on. Y'all know how I get when I'm telling stories. I can't tell a short story. I don't want this video to be too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 parts to this video. What I want you to do is go check out that second part. I'm going to drop them both on the same day at the same time, so you don't have to worry about it. You can go check it out right now. Let's win.
Many people change on a nigga running game, on a nigga stay the same, plain and simple. Oh Lord, Gucci my couture, show me my opponent.